Gary Sheffield. He ripped today's game saying, I don't watch baseball at all.
Yeah.
He said, and I quote, "It was exciting when I was playing. They implemented all these rules now, and they've changed the game so much they're making it more hitter-friendly, even without having success. These guys can go out there and strike out 180, 190 times, and it's okay. And then all of a sudden they show a home run. Now, a home run is less appealing when a home run was a big deal and more appealing when I played because it wasn't happening as often as it is now."
They didn't end the boss?
So they tried to. It didn't work. The homers still fly at the same rate.
Okay.
You know, they're just guessing. They don't know for certain what affects the balls. And it's just when they switched manufacturers, it's when what changed it. But
He's kind of contradicting himself here because he's saying how like the game's not exciting now, but then he's saying that there's too many home runs. And
well, he's saying that the home
runs
runs are no longer special. Because
okay.
you can go out there and be a shit player and strike out 190 times and still hit 40 home runs, which he's not wrong about.
Yeah.
He's not wrong that that's not a great thing for baseball. But, you know, those guys are, you know, also during his era, everyone was taking steroids. So, you know, including yourself, Gary.
You were talking about Casey. Including yourself, Casey.
No, I'm speaking directly to Gary Sheffield.
We know he's watching.
He had that video a couple years ago of him smoking the cigar.
And hitting the dinger.
Absolute
In
news.
like a softball league.
50-something years old. Yeah,
That's incredible.
Great video.
Yeah.
He was amazing in the MLB game on PS2 back in like 06. Oh my god.
I mean, he was nasty.
He couldn't. No, every single hit was a home
Yeah.
run.
I mean, so I will say, guys are hitting more home runs now, but you also have to understand the game's changed. People are bigger, faster, stronger.
Kanye.
I mean, there's more velocity. You're probably going to get more home runs off that. But when it comes down to it, it really is come down to rules and these new, like you said, the new rules that are being implemented at the end of the game, like 7-inning doubleheaders.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just not baseball anymore.
That shit's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's not sticking around, though. I'm fully convinced it's not going to stick around past this year.
And I think replay has to be taken out of the game.
I agree with that, too. I hate replay.
I think it's totally different. I think replay needs to stay in the NFL, but when it comes down to MLB, it takes the human element out of it. And I know Mike had this argument a couple weeks ago, and he's right. You know, the point of having an umpire is the human element brought into the game. If you're going to go down to, you know, these robot umpires and shit, you're just going to change the game, and people aren't going to watch it because that's not baseball. That's not what they grew up on. That's not what, you know, people want to play.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
When did the replay get introduced?
2013 season.
Okay.
If I recall correctly. So yeah, so they started doing it with only home runs, which I'm fine. If you want to review a home run, go ahead and review a home run, because that stuff like sometimes
that
you
makes
can't
sense.
see, you know, if the ball's and like there's certain plays I don't have a problem with replay, but like if you're looking at whether a guy's foot bounced off the bag for a split second when he's sliding into second and if the tag's still on him, like that's not what the point of replay is.
They were at the monitor for 7 minutes.
Exactly, and then they can't tell. Like,
Yeah, talk about making a game slower. How about we
get rid of
take
replay.
out replay?
That's how.
I mean, here's how I would implement replay. If I were to do replay, I would say you have to make the decision instantly if you're the manager. You can't have someone upstairs watching. You gotta know if you're the manager. Say yes, this is a bang bang play. I think this is. The manager comes out, he argues, he yells at the umpire, says, replay it.
Yeah.
He doesn't have time to talk to his bench coach who's calling upstairs to see if you know they're whatever. Then the umpires have 60 seconds, a 60-second limit to see if it's a reviewable play. If they can't see it in 60 seconds, it's inconclusive. The call on the field stands. That's it.
I like that.
Move on.
Yeah, I like that.
Just speed it up.
Because
You don't
that
need
way
to be standing here for 3 minutes while the umpires watch the same little second of whether or not the guy's foot came off the bag. Just speed it along.
Not to mention, you have all the fans seeing the replay, whether it be on their phones or whether it be on the big jumbotron, and they're yelling.
Yeah.
So it just makes no sense.
Mhm.
But getting back to the original topic at hand, what Gary Sheffield says, I guess the best way I could say is I agree, but I also disagree. I mean, I think some of the comments he made just don't have much validity to them.
Like which ones?
I don't think a home run is less appealing these days.
No, I mean, home runs, like if I'm at a game, I think, like I'm not necessarily aware of like, you know, how many more home runs there are this year compared to 10 years ago. Like, I just want the game to be exciting, and I think home runs bring that to the game.
Yeah. I think in terms of, so I think there was like two sides to it. There was like the value of the home run, what he was talking about, but in terms of exciting, I agree that it's still like a home run's a home run.
Aren't the
Still-
pitchers putting up some of like the best numbers ever this year?
Yeah, I mean,
So far,
pitching's
yeah.
always ahead of hitting. It's how it starts the season. So pitching's always does better than pitching. I mean, I was gonna talk about this a little later, but Corbin Burns broke a record last night for most strikeouts without a walk to start a season. Every old person hates baseball now. Every player who played 20 years ago hates the game now. It's a cycle. Players in the 70s hated the game in the 90s. Players in the 50s hated the game in the 70s. It's a cycle where you like the era that you played in more because obviously it's when you were great and it's when things were exciting for you.
Yep.
And so, yeah, you'll lose interest as you're not involved with it, as you're involved less and less with it because the game changes and you're not in it and you're not changing along with the game. So, I mean, yeah, every old player hates baseball. I mean, not everyone.
You can
a lot
say
of
that
them.
about basketball too.
Exactly.
My stepdad hates the NBA nowadays. Like when the Celtics were playing the Warriors, he literally was texting me. He goes, "I hate
Big
Steph
Mike.
Curry, like how he plays and stuff." I'm like, "That's how it is now."
So you guys have
I mean, the thing with baseball today is, I mean, I just don't have the time to sit down and watch a 3-hour game.
Yeah.
Time or desire, really.
One thing I love about baseball, though, is that you can just have baseball on. You don't have to be fully paying attention to it you don't
I
have to
usually
give
have it on in the background.
exactly.
Watch for the
Kinda like
baseball
golf.
Baseball as a 162 game season is great filler.
Mm-hmm.
It's great because you don't have to care so much about every game. Not every game that requires your undivided attention.
Yep.
So
that
you
makes
just
sense.
you turn on a game, you put it on, you walk around, you make dinner, you do something else, you read a book. I mean that's baseball. Baseball doesn't.
Pick up a book.
Baseball. Read a book during it. I don't know if that's my selling point on my favorite sport.
No, but that's part of the beauty of the game is that not every game is live or die. Not like football, you have to give your entire attention to it because every minute of the football game matters.
Yeah.
Every second matters. Basketball is a little bit similar, but with baseball, there's like a rhythm, there's a pacing to the game where you can kind of just like you
Glance
glance
up,
up, watch out
time.
your corner of your eye
That's true.
for every game, and so it's great in that aspect. It's a great everyday
It's not
thing.
high-paced,
And
fast-pacing.
the one of the biggest detractors that people have against baseball is how slow it is and how long it is. But to me, that's a plus almost.
Do you watch every Nats game?
I respect that.
Not every. I mean, I didn't watch Monday. I didn't watch most of yesterday.
Yeah.
I stay attuned to most games. I'd say. I mean, I get text updates.
You what?
Attuned to like just knowing what's going
Yeah.
on to the game.
Yeah.
For
I'm
most games.
locked into postseason baseball.
Yeah.
Like when the Red Sox are in the postseason,
What
I'm
if-
watching every game.
What if when the Red Sox aren't in it, are you still locked in?
No.
No.
No, I'll watch like the World Series or like the what do they call the round before the championship? They call it
NLCS.
NLCS, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll watch
Series.
those championship series.
Yeah.
I get confused with the NBA conference.
Mhm.
I'll watch those two series, but no, if the Red Sox are in, I'll watch every game. When they had that World Series run back in 2018, I watched every single game from start to finish. Like, you were there. I watched every game up until 4 in the morning. 18 innings against the Dodgers in the
Oh,
World Series.
fell asleep in that one.
Oh, I stayed up.
Big time.